record wrecking my brain. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what I do. Record wrecking my brain. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what I do. Did I tangle with the wrong wolf this time? A lone wolf by design. Did I angle for my own demise in the wilderness of your eyes? I guess I identify most as a musician, particularly a songwriter. I really can't survive without writing songs and lyrics. Particularly, I love melody, but I've been writing a lot of poetry lately. I love to be able to tell those stories. It feels like sometimes a confessional. The fast-paced world is not really for me. I like nature, and I like there's a good community of people out here that great artists and unique, individualistic type people that I really love, and it's had a huge impact on my career as a musician, being here, based out of here, inspired by here, embraced by people here. I've been playing music since I was a kid, and I grew up in the Baptist church, and my parents didn't want me to play the guitar. Well, my mom didn't want me to play the guitar, but I built this old guitar out of a piece of wood. I think it was a 2x12, and she walked in on me one day playing it in front of the mirror, and she said, "Get in the car, boy, let's go get you a guitar." About 15, my parents bought me a little 4-track cassette recorder, and I started recording my songs, and I even had friends in school that would come over and we'd record their songs. Yeah, that's really my inspiration behind everything I do, and I recognize that in other people as well. And so, with my studio work, it's kind of like midwifery in a way. It's a way that I'm able to help other people kind of give birth to their ideas and their art and their poetry and their songs. What I do to be with you, to be with you. Part of my philosophy since I was in my early 20s was recording in unique spaces and places that aren't sterile studio environments. Not that good records can't be made there, but it's just not for me. And so I'm working here in my house. My control room was actually my son's room when he lived here. People get kind of a kick out of that. I want to show you something. This is actually from a track of my own that I recently did. And this is kind of an example of the sorts of things I do. I take real sounds and I manipulate them to make them sound like something completely different. This was an electric guitar that I played, and I ran it through this infinite reverb. So when I just played one note, and then the reverb just carried that note as long as I wanted for like 5 minutes or however long this song is. And I created this little symphony. And if you kind of look in here, you can see that I played the faders much like a keyboard part.
I'm lonely as hell, but it's alright. They say a hurricane hit your town, but you got out alive. Where are you now? I'm holding on to the lifeline. You and I are September leaves in the last of the light. The fates won't much more time. You and I are September leaves in the last of the light. Our fates won't give us much more time.
This is my nerve center here. This space is where I keep all my stuff. I all the things that I use. But I am a very mobile recording guy, so I can pack things up and go to another state. I often drive down to Texas. I do work down there, and I made this record out in the West Texas desert in this old trailer house in the middle of the desert, in this little canyon, with my friend Scott Walker. And I just went in, sort of assessed the room, set up my stuff, moved mics around. We put drums in there and just turned it into a recording studio. People often will ask me if it's a struggle, using unique spaces and different kinds of rooms, if I struggle sometimes with acoustic problems. And I pretty much what I say about that is I can walk into any space and kind of tell you what it's going to sound like, put things in a certain area because I know what's going to happen. And so no, it's not a challenge for me at all. In fact, it's a luxury to be able to utilize unique spaces and get unique sounds on every record that I make. A lot of the work that I do is here in my house. I can turn my house into a full-fledged studio. There are multiple rooms, which I like. Different rooms give isolation and different kinds of sounds, and the living room just sounds great for drums, and maybe I'll put a vocalist in the office with the piano and things like that. So I like the smell of coffee going through the house when we're making records, and the dogs and cats are sort of passing through. I like things like those. Things are important to me to making good art.
I'm Zoe Wilcox, and I've been working with Bill Palmer for several years on and off with the Palm and the Cypress and in my solo work, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm currently working on a solo album, and there's so much I know that I don't know about the recording process. And so as soon as I ask Bill for input, for options, for suggestions, he's there with great ideas. But he won't offer them unless I ask, which again gives me a place of power in my creation and really helps me feel supported by a professional who knows so much about this world that I am just learning about.
The thing about Bill is, like, you can get whatever you want with him. It's like, if you want that real pro sound, you can get that. I mean, some of the stuff that he's coming out with, it's immaculate. But, we've just had some fun with different ideas. There was this one song that I recorded, Dashboard Flower, on the album. And, we were toying around with it and stuff like that, but Bill had this idea to just set up like this room mic in the middle of the room. And he sat down and played guitar with me on it. And we just played it live. And there's some sort of magic to it. And that's kind of the great thing about recording with Bill.
So one of the things I love about working with Bill is that he is also super efficient. He doesn't waste any time. He's ready. He's got everything set up when you get there. And he's right at it. If you miss a take or you got to try it again, boom, you're ready. Go again. And he can get a lot done within a really short amount of time. I think my last studio album before the one I'm about to release now, we tracked everything in 10 hours. Not that we had to, but we could. And so that was a really special experience because we did it all live in the room. Everybody was together. We cut everything live. And it was incredible the energy that happened when you do it like that. And it's really, and it was a wonderful experience, and it became one of my favorite albums.
You made your way into the sun, pretty one. Won't you catch my drift this morning? I'll be looking. In between what's right and wrong, I know you'll be strong. Picking through the woodpile tonight, I'll watch you by the starlight. And the grown men gather round the fire tonight, lonely for what's real and free. And I'm out beyond the Milky Way, hoping you might look for me. I remember sitting there beside you in the tattered wings. Times like that should never end. Times like that are precious things. Now I'm out here in the dusty wind, in between the truth and lies, trying hard to never land, not so perfectly disguised. The grown men gather round the fire tonight, lonely for what's real and free. And I'm out beyond the Milky Way, hoping you might look for me. Hoping you might look for me. I hope that dog's gonna be all right.